Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Peninsulas. It is really exciting that Christmas is coming up for us this week, and I'd like to give a shout out to Shannon for her Side Note Saturday this week. She really spoke from her heart, and I 100% agree that the whole reason we celebrate Christmas in the first place is because of Christ and his coming into the world to save us. So I'm very excited to be celebrating this Christmas, especially here on the farm with all the creatures. Life goes on as normal, but it's fun to be able to reflect on our blessings and everything that Christ has done for us. I've also been practicing the piano these days, trying to get ready to play the organ at church for the Christmas Eve service, so that's exciting as well. But mostly life is continuing on as normal, so this week I'm just going to talk about what the garden is looking like, what we're feeding the animals in these winter days, and quite a bit of focus on the horses, so I hope you guys enjoy! Hey everyone, we are out here in what's left of the garden. Still here in the winter, so it's a couple weeks into December and we've got a few things left. So this little strip here is mostly collards, and then I have one little cabbage forming here. So you can see the leaves folding in to form that cabbage head. And it's pretty happy with this colder weather. But then all this green that you see kind of in this row here are collard greens. And interesting to note about them, after they go through a frost, they're actually sweeter and better to eat. So it's always good to pick them after you've been through a little freeze or a frost. It doesn't damage the leaves and it makes them more tasty when you cook them. And you can just pick leaves off as you go, and they'll grow more leaves in their place. So these are not plants that you have to pull up the whole plant to harvest. Just pick leaves as you want to eat them, and the plant will continue to grow new leaves. So it's a really fun crop to have, and it's a bright spot in a winter garden. And then over here, we've still got some Brussels sprouts growing, some cauliflower plants, but if you want to see here, the broccoli is very happy. It's putting on some head there, and we'll probably let that grow a little bit longer before harvesting. This plant here, I think, had one as well. Oh yeah. So sometimes you have to pull back the leaves to see what's going on. But there's that little baby one growing. So that's pretty exciting. And then Brussels sprouts, they will grow little Brussels along the leaf stems, but these guys are still pretty young, so we might not see any actual Brussels sprout growth until the spring. But they are also happy in the cold weather, so we don't have to worry about them too much. But that is about all we have left in our winter garden. Windy girl there keeps an eye on it for us during the day. I bet it looks tasty. But I just wanted to show you guys kind of what you can still grow in the cold weather in Florida. Just because the winter is coming, it doesn't mean that you have to give up on your garden. There's still some fun plants that you can keep going kind of through the worst of the cold even. So we'll keep an eye on these guys in the days ahead. So today we're going to show you what a quick grooming session looks like for the horses. I chose Hank because he tends to be the best boy for his grooming sessions, so he's easier to film. But I'll just kind of show you my routine. This is not grooming for shows or anything like that that's fancy. This is just kind of maintenance grooming to make them feel good and to keep an eye on them, make sure they don't have any sores or cuts or anything like that. And it's also just really good bonding time with your horses. If every time you grab your horses out of the field it's just drudgery and work, then they don't have as much fun either. So sometimes it's just nice to get them and have kind of a spa day and scratch all those itchy places for them. So that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how I tie my horses up. So I have this little loop here, and I just run the whole thing through, and then, move your nose, buddy. Then you have it like this, and I just make a slip knot around and come through with the loop. And then I continue to come through with the loop, through the loop, all the way down. Horses always try to help. And then once I get to the end with him, I'll pull the tail through so that it's locked. Hank is really good at untying himself. So with this tail through the last loop, he can't. He can pull on it, but it would just get tighter. Now, I wouldn't do this with horses that have not been taught to stand tied yet, or young horses that are still learning, things like that, because if something spooks them and they panic, you need to be able to untie them very quickly. And so for a young horse or one that doesn't know how to stand, I won't put this tail through, so that way you can just pull it and it will come loose immediately. But for Hank, he's a pretty steady guy, not much bothers him, and he also knows how to untie himself, so we put the tail through for Hank. So I'm just gonna start by taking off his jacket. It was in the 20s last night, so anything kind of below 40, I like to put their jackets on. They don't necessarily need it in the 30s, but we have a lot of cold wind as well, and I just like to have the windbreak for them to just kind of help on those really cold nights with the wind coming out of the north. But it's supposed to be warmer at night for the next few days, in the mid 40s, and he's got plenty of fur coat for that, so he shouldn't need his blanket for another few days at least. And in case you guys are wondering how these blankets go, when you grab the ties, the one in front comes to a diagonal to this one in the back, and it crisscrosses the same for these. So it's going to be an X pattern on their belly. These ones on the back go around the hind legs and clip in the back here. And then you've just got your front buckle section. Usually it's 2 buckles. He has clips on his. Maverick only has buckles on his blanket. Each one's a little bit different, but the basic setup for tying them is the same. Alright, so he's even a little bit sweaty underneath that blanket, so you know it's really warm, and he's got all this fur as well. So he's going to be just fine without it for the next few days. So I always just start with a curry comb. Now, one thing that I normally would do before this is I would spray his mane and tail with a detangler, but I'm out of detangler right now. So we're just going to skip that step and brush that out later. Now, if you were showing, typically it's more important to not brush their mane and tail without detangling it first, because then you're ripping out hair and you get these little wispies that just doesn't look as good for showing. But since we're not showing and we're just trying to make him feel good, I'll go ahead and brush him out, and it's okay if we break a few of his hairs. So. With a curry comb, you just want to go kind of against the fur, give him a good scrubbing. You can go in circles, or you can just go back and forth. You see him yawning and carrying on, that's just him kind of relaxing and releasing tension. He loves this part. So you just want to go all over with your curry comb. I'll go down the legs. Sometimes they'll have mud and things caked on their legs. This will loosen it up and get it off of there. So you just want to hit all the areas, especially the belly. They get itchy on their bellies. He loves this part. Then you want to do both sides. Same thing. And then I'll go up under the mane and scrub this side of the neck as well. I just don't scrub their face with the curry comb. I don't imagine that would feel very, very good. We'll have a soft brush that we can brush their face with, and that's really all they need. All right. Once you get them all curried, I just take not a super stiff brush, but not a super soft one either, one that has some substance to it. And I just go over it with the flow of the hair. So we'll start on the neck again. Just brush out all the dander and dirt that the curry comb kind of loosened under the coat. Horses' coats, their skin releases quite a bit of oil, especially when stimulated like this. And so those natural oils in the horse's skin will come through as you brush their fur and give them a nice shine, usually. So things that might prevent that shine from coming out is if sometimes you see if horses don't have proper nutrition, their coat will just be kind of dry and dull. So if you're noticing that, maybe look into your horse's diet and see if there's something that could be improved to help give that coat a healthy shine to it. Older horses can struggle with that as well. Sometimes they're just, their skin just gets kind of dried out and they need a little bit extra to help them with that. Now, if you are going to shows, it would be important to keep detangler in your horse's mane and tail frequently. And then a lot of people will braid them, and the tail, they make kind of tail socks for them, so you can braid up a horse's tail and then put it in the sock to keep it well conditioned, to keep it clean, and to keep the fibers from breaking, so that their tail is just long and flowy without broken pieces. But Hank's just a little old farm pony, and even though he's just as important as those $1 million horses, we just brush his tail like normal. You can see he has a lot of grass and little sticks kind of tangled all in there. It's important to get those out because the tail will wrap itself around them over time and it can create really big knots. Another thing that can happen sometimes, I knew a horse that this happened to once. Their tail hair got knotted around the end of their tail bone, which for Hank it comes down to right here. So this is solid skin and bone right under here, that far down. And the horse's hair got knotted around the end of that and created, it basically cut off circulation to the end of the tail. It got infected, and they had to do a tail amputation, which was really, really sad and hard for the horse. So routine grooming and maintenance is very important for things like that. It's just good to lay your hands and your eyes on your horse on a routine basis. Make sure that they don't have any problems going on. It's kind of rule number one of horses: if something can go wrong, it will. So you just want to kind of be proactive, make sure that they don't have any kind of injuries or things that could potentially create a problem. Alright, and then from there I take my soft face brush and I'll just brush his face down a little bit. Usually last I will pick out their feet, make sure that they don't have any problems there. Things that you want to look for when you're picking out their feet are things like nails, screws, spikes, any kind of weird thing that they might have picked up out in the pasture. Unfortunately here we have a lot of junk that's just been kind of strewn all around the property from the previous owners, and we're always finding old nails and bolts and nuts, things like that. Any of those little things can get wedged in a horse's foot and cause problems. So, and even if you're on a piece of property that doesn't have those kind of things, if you're out riding, there's no telling what a horse could pick up in their feet just from going on a trail ride. So those are things you want to look for as you're cleaning the feet out. So here we are after our little grooming session. It really doesn't take more than 10 minutes, but he's looking spiffy, and I checked him all over and he's looking good. He doesn't have any bumps or bruises, and he's ready for his cookie, which I have not brought out yet, but he's pretty sure it's here somewhere. Don't forget the kisses. It's very important. So I was going to show you guys what I feed the horses. I've been getting a Purina brand pelleted feed, and it's the Equine Senior Active, because Maverick is 25 and then Hank is 18 at this point, so they're both getting up there in age, and they're both pretty active guys. I ride Hank really regularly, and I've started working Maverick as well, but he also just runs around on his own. So that's what I've been doing. Now I kind of want to get away from the formulated feed that's kind of sold in bulk. So I have just started doing research into feeds that I could put together myself, maybe oats and barley, things like that I could mix. But I don't know a lot about equine nutrition at this point. And I know that they say that they formulate this feed to have everything a balanced diet for them. So that's what we've been doing, but I do kind of want to get away from that longer term, and maybe get them a little bit more healthy feed, something that's a little bit more closer to the whole grains and things like that. But Hank, he's a bigger guy and he's got a big frame, and he struggles to keep his weight on in the winter. So he gets a full scoop twice a day, and this scoop is 3 pounds. So 6 pounds of feed a day for Hank, and then he gets free choice hay as well. But Maverick is just a butterball year round. Doesn't matter if he eats or not. So he's what we call an easy keeper. So he gets a half of a scoop once a day, just so that he feels like he's loved. But he really doesn't need it. He thrives off of just hay. He stays round and glossy and dappled on just hay. So every horse is different, and as you keep a horse through the different seasons, you'll be able to tell which ones need extra supplemental feed and which ones really don't need it as much. So that's what we do. And then they get 3 flakes of Timothy hay, this green hay, in the morning and at night, and that's all that they eat. These pickle barrels are really good for storing feed of any kind. I picked these up for $40 at the local feed store, but they don't always have them in stock. But it never hurts to call your local feed store and see if maybe they have some old pickle barrels for sale. They seal really nicely on top, and then the ring screws on like that, and it'll keep your feed nice and dry and tight with no problems. So we picked these bananas, or chopped the stalk off the banana tree back at the end of October, because there was a big freeze coming and we wanted to save the banana stalk. So they've been hanging in the shed here since that time, so a little over a month. And as you can see, they're starting to turn yellow. Various different ones are turning yellow. So this is kind of what bananas look like if you take them directly off the tree. And it's kind of nice because they don't all turn yellow at once, so you can kind of get them off of the stalk and eat them as they turn ripe. And these ones turned out to be quite sweet, so I'm pretty pleased with how they did. This is my second ever stalk of bananas. I had another one this year, earlier in the year. They were sweet as well, so I'm quite pleased with the banana trees, but this is my first time ever successfully growing bananas. So I thought you guys might enjoy seeing kind of what it looks like as they ripen off the tree. Alright, so in this pickle barrel we have the feed for the milk cow. It also is a pelleted formula that has little bits of corn in it as well. This is a 16% protein feed. Last year I did 14%, and she struggled a little bit maintaining her weight, and her milk sometimes wasn't as rich and yummy. So I switched to 16% this year, and she seems to do a lot better on it. My milking machine broke, so I'm not milking right now. If I was milking, she would get 3 scoops of this twice a day, so that would be 18 pounds of feed per day. Plus she gets a flake of alfalfa hay here in the morning. She still gets that, and then she has free choice Timothy hay out there in a round bale form that she can munch on all day if she wishes. So she does eat quite a bit. I have backed her off to 2 scoops of feed twice a day instead of 3, just because we're not milking anymore. And she seems to be maintaining her weight without so much of a load on her milk production. So she's doing okay with this so far. The calf shares her feed, so he'll get in there and take some nibbles. He also likes the alfalfa, but she gets most of it. He is still he's milking her right now, so he's able to keep her bag empty and keep her from getting mastitis. But before, we were milking her and the calf was also drinking, so it was really twice the load on her milk production. So now it's basically backed off by half, and so she isn't requiring as much maintenance feed to keep her going. Looks like they dumped it. Oh, and they pooped in this. I better wash that out. Sometimes, if your cows are ornery, they will dump their water bucket, and then you have to slog through the quagmire to rectify the situation. It is very important in these situations to not lose your boots in the muck. Well, everybody, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and as always, feel free to add comments or questions or whatever you wish, and like and subscribe if you would like more content. We will be taking next week off just because Christmas is happening, but we will catch you again in the week leading up to New Year's. I hope everyone's Christmas is safe and happy and blessed, and we will see you in the next one.